was a great, great friend to me, my wife, and my family, and I love him and I miss him. In fact, the story was at his funeral, I was there, and Jerry Weintraub, God rest his soul, just passed away. He was a good friend too. And I was standing there, and I was a pallbearer, and I was leaning on Frank's casket. And Jerry said, Tom, you're leaning on Frank's casket. I said, why not? I've been carrying him all my life.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Gentlemen, we have time for one last question. All right.
Hi, Don. I've been seeing you for the last 30 years. Whenever I can get the night off to come see you, and it's always a pleasure. And one thing I do, every time you talked about your friendship with Cagney, it cracked me up. When you used to do the dances across the stage.
Right.
Thank you very much. That was really awesome.
That's
Can
right.
you tell us a little bit about the Cagney? That was a lot of good times.
Yeah, well, Jimmy Cagney, as I said, his brother was a dentist in a place called Jackson Heights where I grew up. I go back there with a gun and protection. But Jimmy Cagney, ever since I was a kid, he always... Anyway, so thank you, sir, for your compliment.
You know, there's one lady who's been standing up, right over there. Take a look. She's blonde. And so, go ahead, just tell us what... Yeah, you don't?
What was my favorite what there? No, would you believe this isn't going to sell any tickets? But I never was a guy that participated in gambling. The only time I did is when it'd be a Sinatra or some celebrity said, Don, join us at the table and for fun, deal. The reason I'm sorry I'm talking to
Come around here, sweetie.
I'm breaking my neck.
I know you.
No, you're very sweet. What's your name? Julie what? Julie Grant. You're civilian. God bless you. She was thinking on top. No, a civilian. God bless you.
Nice looking girl.
No, I was never a gambler. And that being the reason, my dad, rest his soul, was a wonderful man. He really was. He was an insurance man, respected. He was the kind of man that would put his arms around you and never be dirty. It would never be uncomfortable. He was always a clean soul. And he was a great insurance man. He really was. And so I always remember that. He always taught me to love and to show respect. And he brought a lot of that to me. And when you say gambling, he had a problem of $5 on the 9. And then he'd come home and my mother would say, where's that $20 you're supposed to give him? At the office. I told him at the office. And he gambled a little bit, which was his only little bit of put down. But God was good to him. And I know in heaven, he's in charge.
Thank you.
I know you talked about your father a lot. Did he know what a success you were in the business?
No.
This is before.
He was always a booster, though. He was always my mother was the one that my father used to say, get a job. But he meant well. He was worried about me, but my mother was always the one, some of these days.
Oh, she was great.
That was her song. And I would bomb some terrible joints. And she'd go in the kitchen and say to her boys, is that a talent? Is that a talent? You don't find talent like that. And then I started to do this insult, which is not an insult. It's an exaggeration. I would never hurt anybody. And so I did this, and she'd say, why do you pick on people like that? Why can't you be like Alan King? Rest his soul, he was a wonderful comedian. I said, gee, Mama, that's not my thing. And then I started to make a few dollars. And she said, can I tell you something? I'm going to tell you something. I said, yeah, but what? You're very clever.
She was a terrific woman, believe
Yeah,
me.
she was. She, as you know, she let all the actors that come to our house on holidays and so forth, whether it be Christmas or Passover. Well, Passover was more important. But that's a joke. But she always loved entertaining and always loved people. And I miss her.
I'll bet.
All of you young people out there, never forget your mother or your father because all of them.
And that's it. Time to say goodbye. Good night to everybody. Hey, look who's here.
Oh my God.
I don't think that's you, eh?
First of all, a dear friend of Regis and mine. He's especially a wonderful actor.
And a hell of a baker.
And a hell of a baker. Mr. Tony Dan.
Tony Jackson!
They made a great cake for you. It was terrific. They wanted to cut it. They told me where to cut it.
Is this the 90-year cake?
80 years old.
Yeah.
I was so free of the things.
I live it now, but I have diabetes.
It's a beautiful cake.
And
And
it's
I
a-
think some of the
Tom Cantone, I'm sure his staff worked all night to make this one of his things. And we will celebrate with it.
his mother-in-law and his wife were over there.
Are they grown? Tom, are you here? Stand, this is stand up a minute, Tom.
Huh?
This is a gentleman, when I first came here,
Tom.
you know this, Eddie. When I first came here, he put his arm around me and said, hey, you're funny and we'll find a place for you. And I always work for him periodically. And Tom, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, you are a man of class and dignity. And Regis and I, and everybody in this room, if you don't love him, you don't love life.
Tom, I want to thank you all for being here.
Now I'll tell you the truth.
You don't want to cut the cake.
Sure.
Yeah, you want to do it?
I'd like to stand up, but I can't.
No, don't stand up. I'm going to bring it to you.
Did I tell him about this? I did.
Did you what?
I told him about this.
Hey, look.
I told you about my leg, right?
Right here.
Yeah, he said, you
No, I
mentioned.
know.
You
I
mentioned.
like, but I tried not to hit the bad ones. Okay?
This is great the way
You know, you see what this is coming.
you blocked it, so the whole
This is
problem.
good. No, I see you from the corner. You brought this here.
Very nice.
So where do I
Right
cut
there.
it?
Just put it right there. Hey, right here. Right there. There you go.
All right.
Oh, that's it.
He used to box, this kid.
Of course
He
he did, yeah.
And then he had television shows, and now he's a cake cutter.
All right, so that's it, everybody. Thank you for coming.